Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, now we're back to the races. Now we will proceed with our quality of life measures and our costs, assured that we have individuals divided into diabetes states. Dylan stands ready for deployment. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so let's go back to this. We are now going to put in place a set of mechanisms for costs and quality of life. And let's go do it this way, okay? So the first thing we're going to put into place is we're going to put into place these costs. You'll notice that I have two variables here. One are for weight-related, one are for diabetes-related annualized costs. These are annualized costs for being in a state, and we're going to have an additional cost for being in associated with episodic occurrences. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, befitting the fact that they're state-based costs, under what conditions will they be imposed? When you are in a state, right? Okay, so let's go to normal and underweight. When you enter that state, your weight-related annualized costs will be set to some value. Now, the right way to do this would be to add constants to the model that would reflect the appropriate weights. Time is limited, and I'm afraid about taking the time to set all that up and losing the forest for the trees. So I'm just going to impose some values here, and I feel negligent doing this, but don't do this when you go back home. To add either parameters or, like we did yesterday, these sort of variables here to sort of keep track of these quantities. Okay, so the weight-related annualized costs in normal and underweight, maybe we'll make it, what do you think we should make it? Anyone? $2 a year? Okay. Okay, so it is. 2.0. Okay. Okay, for overweight state, we'll impose some higher costs. What should we make this? 200? I don't know. Okay. And for obese.
Could you just move it up so that we can see?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for the normal and underweight, I did it for 2. For this one, I did it 200. And for this last one, should we impose different costs based on able and disabled? Should we do that? Okay. For able, what should we do? The weight-related annualized costs for being in this state. Well, there's a lot of things for obese individuals, and particularly if we're going to drag it out into separate states for type 2, type 3 obese, we could have very substantial costs indeed. I mean, they run the gamut from, prosthetics, support for knees and ankles or what have you, to modifications to cars, to issues with your home or what have you. So I don't think it's, $1,000 a year, $2,000 a year. It's pretty substantive costs. And then for disabled people, wow, there you're dealing with very large costs. Think about the extra transportation needs. Think about needs associated with care and bed, the hoists needed for nurses to tend to you at home or for family members. So I don't know, $3,000 a year. Obviously these we're not trying to capture the exact numbers. We're trying to give a sense here. Now,
just a very quick question. In doing this, could
Yep.
you link this to a spreadsheet or
Yes.
something that actually did all the costs for you?
Absolutely.
Can you take that away with you?
Absolutely. And I I don't know if the model Dylan will show it drags values in for a spreadsheet, but AnyLogic has the ability to drag it in from databases or from spreadsheets, from particular cells like in spreadsheets where that particular number is available. You could suck it in from there. And then you'd use it in the model as the model runs. And you can also take output from the model and put it into a spreadsheet if you're so inclined, so it can be a complete loop. But that's quite readily done. Yeah. Yes?
I've just noticed that the obese state is no longer typical. Presumably
It's no longer clickable?
yeah.
Oh, you mean like when it runs?
When you put substates in, the parent states goes white. You can complete that.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to click on the border of it. And you'll notice it still has an entry action and exit action, for example. Yeah. It's just you click on the boundary. Yeah.
I think if you set the fill color.
Yeah, exactly.
You can click on the backdrop, but if the fill color is empty, then I don't think you can.
So we could set the fill color to be I don't
I'm
know,
just curious
purple.
what happens. I guess you've got to, because as soon as you get to obese now, you're going to be thrown into presumably able obese. So there'll be two entry.
Right, and that's why this
Reaction.
this goes to
code
able.
at the same time.
Yeah, there's entry action both for the overall state and then for this state. Yeah. Is that helpful? Yeah. There's also, I should mention, although I won't do it justice here, there's also a history state, so that when you leave it and you come back into this overall state, you'll come back to the same state. There's ways of sort of giving it some history. Because right now, when you leave this, it doesn't keep track of whether you were disabled at the time you left or something along those lines. So, in any case, okay, so we've done that. And now let's go set some similar numbers for diabetes-related annualized costs over here on the right-hand side. So diabetes-related annualized costs for those in a normal glycemic state, what should we set? 0 or 0? Okay. And notice I'm putting a semicolon after them. Why is that? It's because we're telling it do something assigned to this. Are we not? Okay. Okay. Upon entry of the diabetes state, we're going to have diabetes-related annual costs of, gosh, you think about, well, I guess in Canada there's a general pharmaceutical plan, is that right? That these things are covered? Are there no co-pays? Are there?
Yeah,
There are.
$30.
Oh, okay. $30 annual?
No.
Per okay. And then there's the test strips and blood glucose meters. Are those covered as well? They are. Okay. So I don't know what we should put in here for. It depends on our perspective, right? Are we capturing costs imposed on an individual or costs imposed on the payer or societal costs? Maybe we should we could say what, $1,000 a year or something like that, because there's metformin potentially for stabilization and insulin and et cetera for some diabetics. Yeah, so we'll say diabetes-related annual costs of $1,000. Okay, great. So we've just put in some cost numbers for state-based costs. We haven't yet put in the numbers for episodic costs. We will do that, and I'll show you how. But that will involve a slightly more mechanism, and we'll do that here all before lunch. Okay. So this is good. Next, I'd like to put in the quality of life measures. Now, quality of life measures are going to, you'll notice I parceled out the weight-related ones and diabetes ones, and I'm not aware of a neat way to do that for quality of life, to have sort of a diabetes component of quality of life, and maybe you could in a weight-related, but they seem to me, maybe they're tied together, but maybe they're not. Maybe you have loss of quality of life from diabetes due to, the effects of diabetes itself and the medication related administration, loss of quality of life. But maybe that's fairly separate from the weight related. So you have decrements for each. What do you think? There's basically two ways we can do this. One way is we could basically have a similar type of approach where we kept track of, for each of these states, the loss of quality of life associated with each of these states due to weight-related factors and due to diabetes-related factors, ignore interactions, and then have a net quality of life, taking into account both of those losses. Or we could actually just assign a quality of life that could take into account those interactions. It would say, okay, I'm in a normal glycemic state, but I'm diabetic. What is my quality of life now? Which would you like to do for that? Do it in a way that would take into account interactions, do it in a way that would treat them largely separately? Interactions? Okay. So the interactions route, has some things to recommend it, and it is slightly more involved, and I'm thinking about it has slightly more complexity, and I'm thinking about the best way to manage that complexity. I'm tempted to do something. Oh gosh. I'm tempted to do something. It would clean things up in some ways. It would expose you to something new, but it might be displeasurable to some of you. On the other hand, the other option is slightly displeasurable. One is cleaner, the other is prosaic. The other will be familiar and less disorienting. The first will be the essence of elegance, but potentially distressing to those new to Java. I'm torn, but I think I will show you something new. What do you think? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit feverish right now, and in my febrile state, I may I'll try something unpredictable. Okay. So, I wish. Okay, Dylan.
Yes.
I need to have a high bandwidth discussion with you. The basic deal is I want to have a Java two-dimensional array, and I can do it manually, but is there any way that you can think of in any logic that will make it nice and pretty, that will prettify it?
So what is the purpose of using this again?
Purpose will be, we'll have a table which gives the quality of life for each combination of diabetes state and weight state, and therefore it'll be divided into six entries.
So diabetes state, weight states.
Yeah, no, diabetes state and weight state. That's it. So it's across.
Yeah. Oh, and
Like across
basically have tuples of diabetes
Yep.
state, weight state, some other value, right?
No, it'll be, well, okay, sorry. So it'll be a two-dimensional array where the two dimensions are diabetes state and weight state, and then there'll be a value for that.
I see. If it's just option lists, I think we should be able to do that, no problem. If you give me just a split second here.
An option list?
Well, diabetes. Sorry, hold on a second. Oh wait, hold on a second. We're just talking about the states, right? Yeah, that's just a double. Short array, isn't it?
No, I could do it with an array. The question is, does any logic provide any interface you could think of to kind of visually do a two-dimensional array? I can't think of anything.
No, nothing of that kind. No,
Okay,
unfortunately not.
yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
so
misunderstood the question.
Yep, no, not a problem. Because collections are nice, but they don't have a nice 2D collection option. Yeah, no, I don't think so either. Okay, so let's do it. I'm going to distress you. Okay, great. Let's go take a look at collection. I think collections are just best for single-dimensional things. So, yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, here we go. There we go. So let's put in place a variable. This is going to be called quality of life. Quality of life for diabetes and weight states. This is going to be a table, ladies and gentlemen. It's just going to be a table illustrated in a quite unseemly fashion. Okay. Yeah, this will do. What do you think, Dylan? Can we do it like this?
No, actually, that's how any logic does it in most cases.
Yeah, I think this is kind of the least bad way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh, I feel bad. I'm distressing them. Let's just look at them. Okay. Okay. Here we go. So I just created a variable in main. Oh, that troubles me. Let's put it in person. Yeah, let's go put it in person. Put it in person. Drag it out of main, put it in person. Because it really belongs in person. It's logically associated with people, individual people. But it'll be shared across all people. Okay. Well, I'm going to show you new things. You want new? I'll give you new. Okay. Here we go. Here's this variable, and we're going to make it a static and constant thing, meaning it's shared across all people and it doesn't vary. We just specify it once, and that's it. It's laid down what the values are. So this table is going to give us the quality of life for different states that we could be in. And it's going to allow us to just look in one table, see what the quality of life is for different states. How are these states going to be specified? Well, Dylan, you're going to have to double check the syntax here because I'm getting discomfortable. But I think this will be for normal glycemic and this will be for diabetic, and then we're going to give successive numbers for each of the weight states.
You start doing what you want to do, and I will tell you.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're going to have quality of life measures. So this is going to be a normal glycemic, normal weight person. What should we do for quality of life? 0.95? I don't know. Health-related quality of life now for being normal glycemic but overweight. 0.90. Normal glycemic and obese and able. 0.7. Okay. Now normal glycemic and disabled obese. 0.5. Okay. And now diabetic and normal weight. 0.88, 0.85, I don't know. Diabetic and overweight. 0.75, I don't know. Diabetic and obese, able. 0.65, and diabetic and obese, disabled. 0.4. Okay.
How are you going to index into that?
You'll watch. Watch this.
Could you leave it back up, please?
Sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. Terribly sorry. Yeah. Dylan, I'm just going to do is for each of these states, I'm going to index into it according to the. I could actually do it based on the option list values.
I'm just thinking here. So you've got two.
Yeah,
Basically,
but
you'd have one dimension which is for.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you better
Are they all curly brackets?
They're all curly brackets. Yeah, sorry. Let me move them up. They're all curlies.
What do the numbers represent?
These numbers represent quality of lives. So basically, this is a table, and I apologize. It's sort of got these weird. Maybe it would help if I went like this, but basically, this is a table with 2 rows and 4 columns. The rows here represent the diabetic versus non-diabetic. This is non-diabetic at the top. This is diabetic at the bottom. And each successive column represents, in turn, a successively more severe, you could think of it, weight state. So normal weight, overweight, obese and able, obese and disabled. So this is the quality of life associated with that state.
So I assume then you're going to make some named constants to make this a little bit easier to reason about. Because if you just use the state numbers, that will not work. Because the state numbers might go up from like 0 to 20.
This is the question.
Yeah, because I think they're numbered in the order that you put them into the model.
Right.
Rather than.
No, I won't use the state name, but we could use option list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Good anyway.
The question is, what are the integer constants associated with the options?
I think when you make an option list, you can actually specify.
Can you?
The number. So
Okay.
if you go back to.
Good.
We can just double check that before we go anywhere. Can you go to project?
Yeah.
And then we'll click on.
Yeah, I vaguely remember there was something with that too.
Interesting. So it could be that it just starts at 0 and it goes up from there. So that's the hope, anyways.
Can you run something quick?
Actually, give me just for a second. I'll just click here. There's one really easy way to check.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're gonna go look at the code?
I can't even take a look at the Java code. What are they talking about?
Well, here. Yeah, we don't want to
We'll
show
figure it
that
out.
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay.
I'll investigate over here while you're playing.
Please do. Yeah. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a way of providing a table. Now, this table, importantly, could be read directly in from a database or from a spreadsheet. And so, it's shown here. I think this is pretty nice to see it all in one place, the quality of life measures. Otherwise, we could scatter them through these different states, but I think there's an advantage to doing it here. So this is one way to do it. It's not the only way. Like with these annualized costs, we could have put them right into the code. But the next step, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going from that to actually use these things. So these are the quality of life measures, and now we've got to use them in each of these states to set this quality of life variable. So, Dylan, if you could just get it to run it to print out an option list value.
Yes, that's,
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen,
May I ask a question?
yes.
Is there any way that we can
Oh,
put some
yeah.
comments in the initial value? That, for example, we can put the comments
Oh.
below the.
Oh, yeah, here. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. And I stand remiss for not showing this to you earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, for this, you could say, when you do anything with code here, you could put in comments. The safest way is to put them in like this. This is the beginning of it. This is the end of it. And you could say rows are diabetes states. Columns are successively more unfavorable weight states. Something like that, right? And so then we could put, and this is another style of comment, we could put normal glycemic, that indicates that whole row, and we can put diabetic here, right? You could even, if you were so inclined, space this out nice and far. Look at that. Look at that. And space this out nice and far, and then you could even label above each column what it represents, right? Watch this. Then I'll put a comment in here. This will be, the column will be normal and underweight. This next one will be overweight. This next one will be obese, able, and this next one will be obese, disabled. Okay, so and then we need to end this comment like that. So that documents it pretty clearly, and we could say here. It's really good to put comments like this into the code. Entries at a given, so a given entry in the table gives the quality of life for the weight state given by the column, and the diabetes state given by the row. Quality of life if a person has the weight state given by the column and the diabetes state given by the row. That sort of is self-documenting. It sort of documents what's going on. Dylan? Yeah.
So option lists, this is just for Nate, not for you guys. Option lists are 0 indexed, and you get that value from it by saying, let's say, male.ordinal, female.ordinal, that gives you 0 and 1.
Yeah.
So you would go and say something
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah,
Quality
exactly.
life for diabetes and weight states,
Mhm.
brackets, diabetic state.ordinal, brackets, obese state.ordinal, whatever your option list have to be.
Right. Yeah. There's still the mapping from the state in the state chart to any option list. That's the only. Yeah.
You could make a function.
I know. It's just a lot of mechanism for them to put out. But,
Yeah.
okay.
Such are the tools we're given.
Indeed. Okay. So that's our nice table. Now, right. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So I'm thinking of the least painful way to do this. I don't want to distress you unnecessarily. Gratuitous stressing is not my goal. Gratuitous distressing. Yeah. Okay. So I'd like you to. Okay. The first thing we're going to do here then. Yeah. Is we're going to, this is all because we're examining the interaction between the two that we're able to, we're doing this. So we're going to put into place, this is a very general approach, but it does involve a little bit of mechanism as we've seen. The first is this table. All those values are together. That's nice. But now we need a way to fetch those values if we're in a given state. If we're given a state of one of the state charts, we have to fetch the values. Okay. Good, great. Okay, so this isn't going to be too bad, trust me. So I'd like you to go to the project, and I'd like you to go new option list, and this is going to be called weight state. Okay, weight state. And it's going to be labeled from normal and underweight to overweight. I was just musing on something that we could have done in a different way, but that's fine. Overweight, and then there's going to be obese, able, and obese disabled. Okay? Obese disabled. Obese able, obese disabled. Obese abled. Oh gosh.
Yeah. A good D.
Yeah, but you don't use it for abled, right? You just say able.
You could say either.
It does say that. Would you be more comfortable if it was obese abled? Either cause me to exhibit displeasure and distress. So that verges on distress. Okay. So are people okay with this? Okay. Boom. Done. Wow. Okay. We're getting close to done. Now we have to get them to do switch statements and functions. Yeah.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
You could also have a variable and just assign that.
That's true. That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Might be the simplest way to do it.
Oh, that would be beautiful. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Simple and scalable.
Simple, scalable. Okay, good. Okay, so. Okay, I hope you don't hate me yet. We got a couple steps left. Okay, so drag in a variable. Current wait state. And what is its type going to be? Guess. Its type is going to be wait state. You got it. Oh, gosh. You folks are the most patient. I can't believe you're putting up with it. That's great. But this is highly general. It is true. This is about as bad as it gets. I'm showing you the full deal. And if you can do this, I was going to say you can conquer the world. I mean, you can do it with arbitrary, with very general combinations of quality of life considerations, and for that matter, cost considerations. We could have put costs in a similar table and captured those. Capture them all in one place, written from a database and used. We're showing you the full meal deal here. And then you'll take your meal. Okay, so current wait state is a variable and it's of type wait state. And then we're going to drag in a similar variable. It's going to be called current diabetes state. And guess what its type is going to be? We called it before initial diabetes state, and for simplicity, I'll just leave it there. Called initial diabetes state. It basically encodes the diabetes states. To change it.
I see confusion coming from that. So.
Okay, good. I like how you're saying, let's show refactoring. So, ladies and gentlemen, we called this before initial diabetes state, because that's how we used it. But now it has a more general purpose. It's going to describe what state you're in for diabetes. So let's change its name, and let's let it fix up the model for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go select it, initial diabetes state, and we're going to go remove the first part of it. So it just says diabetes state. And you'll notice there's this little thing here. Press Control-Enter when you've done that. Or on Mac, is it Option-Enter?
Might be. It'll probably be just
Command-Enter. Thank you. Okay, it's actually not doing it. I'm on. Control Enter. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. Okay, great. It just fixed it. Yeah. Oh, it did not fix it. That.
interesting.
Okay. We have to go through each of these. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay, fine. Oh no. Don't get me there. Okay. Oh, what the?
Should we be doing anything to state?
What the heck? Should we be doing anything in the state? Yeah, I'm exhibiting distress right now. So pardon me while I exhibit distress. So I just need to go look at what's going. Oh, there it is. Okay. So basically we need to go track down this initial diabetes state. Oh, sorry. So to answer your question, I'm now out of a distress state. So, what was your question?
Well, I don't know how to do what you're doing, and I'm lost. So
Okay.
are we supposed
So
to be
could you go help out?
changing everything at this stage? What are we changing? Initial diabetes state to diabetes state?
That's correct.
Yeah, the option list, we're changing the name of it, and then when you hit Control Enter, it should automatically change everything. But on Nate's it didn't.
Yeah, mine.
Mine did.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
So shall we?
Okay, I just went and I fixed those two places, and actually it's fine now, it turns out. So ladies and gentlemen, after you go and you change that name, this may help you. After you go change that name of option list, you need to go initial diabetes. Oh, gosh. Okay. Don't look now. Okay. What the heck? Okay. Hello. What the heck? Okay. Let's go back here. Okay. After you go change the name of the option list, you need to go to person, and you need to for the initial diabetes state, you need to change it to depend on diabetes state, not initial diabetes state. And is it happy then? So yeah, so I went and I changed this to be diabetes state. And then I needed to change two things. This new variable needed to be for diabetes state, and the initial value needed to be diabetes state. Okay. Okay, so who needs help here? Okay. Okay, Dylan, could you, who else needs help? Okay.
I just want to make sure I'm changing the right thing initially, so I'm changing this.
No, you're going to change this guy down here, that name of that. Yeah. Okay. Double click on that. Oh yeah, and so scroll up there and change it to diabetes state. Okay. Okay. Who else needs help? Help? Okay. How many people's model is now compiling? Okay, a couple, a subset. Okay, how many people need help? Okay. Okay, there are some people in this awkward state. Maybe they're catatonic. Okay, so, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. So what you need to do is double click here. Okay, oh, yeah. Don't worry about that. Okay, 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 this is okay, this is that, and then the other key one is this one. The other one is, should have been something you recall first, initial diabetes state, and it changed it, okay. Okay, there's one custom disposition. Initial diabetes state. Oh, you just need to do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, what you want is, you want to check initial diabetes state. That's the name of the parameter name. Okay. Okay, who else needs help here? Who needs help? Help? Okay, okay. Yeah, I see a bunch of models running. This is great. Yeah. You don't need a comment to the last one. Oh, no, you do need a comment there. Yeah. Okay, so super. Yeah, you're fine. Okay, you okay? Okay, great. Okay, who else needs help? Sorry, on tape. I could just squeeze money. Okay. 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 So, how many people are ready to go forward? Okay. Okay. Who needs help still?
No, it's still giving us
Okay.
problems.
Okay, Dylan, can we go forward?
I'm not sure. Does anybody else need help before we move forward? Is everybody in a good state? Okay.
Okay.
You're no complaints, so.
Okay, so folks, we're gonna just have small number of steps here. Okay, so first what we do is for each state of the weight state chart and the diabetes state chart in turn, we're going to need to assign to these new variables we've created. So for normal and underweight, we're going to assign current weight state to be, guess what? Normal and underweight with a capital N. Yeah. And we're going to do something similar for each of these states in turn. Okay. Similarly for overweight, we're going to assign current weight state equals what? Overweight. For the obese able, we're going to set current weight state equals what? Equals obese able. I know it says obesable. For the disabled state, we're going to set it to be obese disabled. So that's for each of these states, we're just setting that variable to tell it in what state we're located. Okay, similarly, we're going to do it for the diabetes state, but guess what we're assigning to there? Current diabetes state. And we're going to assign it for this one to normal glycemic, for this first one, and then for this next one here, we're going to assign it to diabetic. I'll go rehearse for anyone who hasn't been able to follow along. I'm going to rehearse it. So we created these two variables. Each of them, its job in life is to keep track of our current state according to these option lists that we define. So for normal and underweight, we have a current weight state, and we assign to that successively for every state within this weight state chart. We assign to this current weight state. So we assign this to be normal and underweight. We assign this to be overweight. We assign this one to be able. And we assign this final one to be obese disabled. Assigning it to the current weight state variable. Whenever we change, we just assign to it. Similarly, for diabetes, for each successive state, we're assigning to the current diabetes state. People okay with that?
Can I just clarify something?
Yeah.
With the able, shouldn't that be obese able, not just able? Aren't we just using the values that we previously entered?
Correct. It's obese able. Yeah. So I didn't express it here. So on the screen, as you can see, it's current weight state equals obese able. Yeah. It's exactly the values we just put in those option lists. Okay. So you should be able to compile your model, build the model, and it's a happy camper. Okay, who needs Dylan help? Okay, we're just about done with the fully general quality of life with interactions between the charts. This is bad, but it's doable bad. It's a general solution that will work with 3 state charts, with 4 state charts, with 5 state charts. Just the table would be as pretty. It also works with drawing tables in from spreadsheets nicely. So it has some things to recommend it. But pretty ain't one of them. Okay. Okay. Are people ready to go on? Who would like me to rehearse what I've just done? Okay. So would you like me to do it from the start, or would you like me to do it just from this latest thing with putting things in the state? Just this latest thing. So we created 2 variables, current weight state, which described our current weight state, current diabetes state, which described our current diabetes state. in order to have those be given the correct value, for each successive state of the weight state chart, I'm assigning values to them. For the normal and underweight, I'm assigning normal and underweight to the current weight state. For the overweight, I'm assigning current weight state being overweight. For the able state, I'm assigning current weights to be obese able. For the disabled state, I'm assigning current weight state be obese disabled. Okay, for the diabetes state chart, we again need a way of maintaining in which current diabetes state we are according to an option list to do the final coup de grace that's coming up. So in the normal glycemic state, I assigned to current diabetes variable that we have created that were normal glycemic. For this state here, I assigned to current diabetes state that were diabetic. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're doing in these states. It is bits of mechanism, but it's conceptually very straightforward, just telling it in terms of the option list that we added in what state we're doing. Now, why are we doing this? Why are we going through this contortion with option list? Well, it turns out it will make the next step less ugly. It would be a disservice to say that there's a conservation of ugliness. And in my judgment, this was the least bad solution. And believe me, if I could show you the other solutions, you would probably agree. Okay, so now we're up to the coup de grace. What do we still have to do? We have to assign the quality of life, do we not? Now watch this. Because of all the effort we've invested, this won't be so bad. Note the emphasis on so. Okay, here we go. You ready? You ready? Okay. I noticed I didn't specify ready for what. It could be interpreted to mean for lunch, but okay. So here we go. Normal and underweight, this is what we're going to do. And this is going to hold as a pattern across all cases. We're just going to go put this one line of code into every entry point of every state. We're not going to need to change it. We're not going to need to change it. Okay, here we go. Quality of life equals, we're assigning to the quality of life. And we're going to give it the name of this variable that we equated, quality of life for diabetes and weight states. Remember that variable? Okay. Remind me, Dylan, row major or row minor form? Java?
You put your row there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Row and then column. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So current diabetes state dot ordinal. Okay, and then current weight state dot ordinal. Oh gosh, just disappeared. What the heck? Okay, what just happened? That was the most unseemly thing. Okay, dot ordinal. There we go. So I'm going to put this up on the big screen so you can see it in all its glory. Okay, there it is. There we go. So this is an example. This is just an example from the normal weight. I want to emphasize this needs to be done first. Remember, we're updating in every state. We're saying, hey, make my whatever state be such and such. After that, you're going to assign to the quality of life variable the quality of life for the current diabetes state and the current weight state here. That is what you're going to do. And this line here, that is going to be pasted in an unsettling fashion to the end of the code for every state.
I'll say, try writing that statement once, then building it. Because if you get it wrong and you copy paste it 4 times, well, you know.
Quite right. Good, very good point, Dylan. I appreciate that. Excellent point. Build early, build often. Okay, I'm just going and I'm pasting it to one of these. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we're done.
Can you put it up so we can see it?
Okay, indeed. This is quality of life for diabetes and weight states. Sorry, quality of life equals, what is this thing here? Who can tell me? To understand what this means, what is this thing?
That table we had before.
That's the table. That was that table that we created, remember, over here? This quality of life. Remember this table thing? So what I'm doing is, I'm assigning, in this state, I'm assigning my current quality of life to whatever quality of life number is in this table at the row given by my diabetes state. Why is that? Because the rows were the diabetes states, normal glycemic versus diabetic, and at the column given by my weight state.
Was it easier if we define a function and put all of this table and all of those variables in it, and then for every state we just call to that function? Or no,
So I considered having a function with that, and it's not a bad idea. I don't think it could be done more cleanly than this. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm sailing between the Charybdis of introducing switch statements and god awful things, and the Scylla of sort of having code that's in each state for things, and I think this is about the best balance you can get. It's bad, but it's not too bad, at least for me. Yeah.
Are we ready for lunch now?
Yes, but let's run the model first. Okay. And then what we're going to do after lunch is total these things up across the entire population, have qualities accumulated across. And that actually would be really easy compared to this. You've done the hard slog, fought the hard fight. Oh gosh. Don't look at this.
give him put the purifier in it.
Sorry? Okay, okay. I need a Dylan attention to this. He and I need to nerd for a minute. Dylan? Oh, I know what it is. Okay.
Okay, I'll pay attention back here then.
Null pointer exception. It's due to, I think, the different times at which the variables are initialized versus other things.
Can you show me the error?
Well, it's just a null pointer exception. And I'm sure it's because this
The console.
the console. No, I'm quite certain it's likely because the that particular table is not yet initialized out. Enter state, yes, it's in this enter state point. It's quite certainly that issue of the table not being initialized. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's a matter. Okay, so forgive me. Do I have license to nerd? Okay, thank you. Great. I'm going to nerd for about 30 seconds here, so forgive my rudeness. Okay, I think this is eminently doable. This thing is just not getting properly initialized. And why is that? That's really, really interesting. Okay. Great. Okay. So let's try that. We'll try it this other way. It's really interesting. Why would that not be initialized? It's a static constant. So it should be initialized. Gosh, that's weird. Okay, I'll do a workaround. Fine. Foo. Don't look what I'm doing. Okay, fine, other, okay, yeah, double this thing, we're gonna make it this, fine, and then we will, upon this thing, we're gonna assign to it, okay, no pointer, yeah, oh, that's an interesting thing. That could be another hypothesis. Okay, so let's look up foo based on 0 and 0, 0 and 0. Okay, trace ln of foo, and trace ln of quality of life. Okay, watch this. There we go. Okay, let's go see what's going on. Let's go see if this runs. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. See if it exhibits the same problem with that variable done. Boom. Okay, great. So now we've got this console. Okay, enter state. Okay, yeah. Oh, it's still, oh, interesting. Okay, the plot thickens. Current wait state. Oh, that's why. Of course. Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. This should be amenable. So don't worry about foo. Okay. Great. Good. Okay, which one was that caused by? It was caused by, this was the diabetes hazard assigned to the wait state. So this is due to the wait state. Okay, fine. Good. Excellent. Okay. So, what we want here is we want these guys to be initialized. It's because those weren't given initial values, of course. Okay, great. Current wait state equals normal and underweight. And I'm just going to assign the other one temporarily, to initial diabetes state. Okay, watch this. Okay, unhappy. Okay, there's no foo. Okay, get rid of that nonsense. Okay, get rid of that. Gone. Okay, boom. Okay, happy. Yes, the dream of centuries. Okay, great. We are in business. Here's someone's quality of life, 0.95, 0.9. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the final thing that I fixed. Dylan?
Sorry, hold on a second.
Yeah, the final, so basically that was caused because we didn't give initial values to the variables.
Oh, okay.
And one state chart of necessity is entered before the other.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So you didn't say what the initial wait state was.
Right. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, what am I doing?
Yeah, I was going to say that looks a little funny.
No, that looks funny. The current wait state's initial value for this variable should be current wait state. The initial value should be normal and underweight. And for current diabetes state, the initial value should be initial diabetes state. That's what it should be. Of course. So current weight state, the initial value is normal and underweight. The current diabetes state, the initial value is initial diabetes state. Okay? People okay with that? Okay. How many people would like me to do that again? The current weight state, the key thing was we needed to have an initial value for these two variables to keep track of the current one, because it's going to start using them immediately as soon as it enters one of the state charts, even before the other state chart has been entered. So current weight state, the initial value is always normal and underweight, and the current diabetes state, it's given by the parameter initial diabetes state. You put that into place, and your model should run, and now we've got quality of life measures being computed on the part of an individual based jointly on their normal and underweight and their diabetes. Look at this. This person is diabetic, and it's computing their quality of life accordingly. So it's taking into account both their diabetes and their weight state, and it computing their quality of life. So quality of life we have costs on an annualized basis, and now we're going to, okay, I'm going to put in place, okay, all I ask you to do is something it'll take 2 minutes, and we'll be done with everything at the individual level, okay? So this is what I want you to do. I want you to drag a function called total annualized costs, okay? Total annualized costs. And this is going to return a value, and what value will it return? Anyone want to guess? Given that we have two types of annualized costs? It will return double, and it will return the weight-related annualized costs plus the diabetes-related annualized costs. Okay, so it's summing both of those up. That's all it's doing, just summing them up. And that will allow us, after lunch, to put in place the mechanisms for the whole population for qualities and for totaling up qualities. For this totaling up costs, for the annualized costs. Okay? That's it. That's it. And then I'm going to do one final thing later with the episodic costs, but that will be one line, I think. Okay, so now we have this population. The population's evolving. Their quality of lives are being felt, and it takes into account both of their states, and hence when they're diabetic, their quality of life is different. Even when they're normal and underweight, it's still no more than 0.8. Okay, so horrible. I feel terrible showing that to you, but at least you saw something new. And it is a fully general solution. I try not to whitewash things, and if you want a model with this sort of health economics related components that takes into account comorbidities, this is what you got to grapple with, and this is about as bad as it gets, the strategy we used. Even if you had n conditions, you'd have an n-dimensional array, and you'd have those values in there, and then you could do the same strategy with assigning to variables for each of the state charts. Assigning, remembering what their current state is, and looking up for a certain cell on that table what the quality of life is, and using it accordingly. And similarly for costs. Okay.
Quick question. So if you wanted to do what we normally do and try and keep the same cost, so we know without offsets or from different perspectives, you just do runs, set up runs to do that, and then you just have them.
You could do it that way, or you could have it simultaneously in a given run total up costs from this perspective, or total up costs also from this perspective. For the same run, you could have outputs of each of those perspective-based sort of costs, if you wanted to do so. Right. We'll be showing how to do that, hopefully this afternoon. So in other words, it will run two scenarios simultaneously and do the difference between them for the costs and the quals, and compute an incremental cost effectiveness ratio. Yeah. Okay? So we'll be running both scenarios in common, in parallel. Yeah. For the same parameter values, the same, for a baseline case and an intervention case. Yeah. Or multiple interventions against each other. So, okay, so let's eat lunch, and then let's reconvene, and we'll finish the top level components of this. Okay?
Can you just put the function, the last function, the properties?
Sure. Okay, so I had a last function, and that was total annualized costs, and that returns a double value and it returns the weight-related annualized cost plus the diabetic annualized cost.
Go back into.
Okay, who needs help?
Well, I'll just
Okay.
write